we were actually teaching on the same course, and I've gotten his class, of course, naturally. And he hit me with his fingers, and he's only a little guy. He hit me across the shoulders, and it was like iron spikes going in. Now, Higo Sensei has exactly the same kind of feeling in his body, but you can see he's a lot more robust, a lot more solid.
And as you said, the fists are clenched.
The fists are now clenched.
And those fists are incredible now.
Oh yes, I've been hit by them, and I know exactly what they feel like. It's not just the weight of the punch. When he grips, he's got a terrific grip. So with the grip, it pulls you off balance. So when he hits you, you're off balance now. Again, you've seen the same principle applied with the white crane and the Uechi-ryu. So there's a lot of the Okinawans have a term, muchimi, which means heavy, sticky, like it's almost like claws going in. And when Gushi and Higo Sensei get a hold of you, that's exactly what it feels like. I don't know about the white crane. They haven't actually grabbed me yet. I could get lucky.
But it is remarkable to see the transformation from the beginning to the end. And I was saying to Imran earlier, it shows that as many differences as we've got similarities as well.
Absolutely. What you've got, the differences are fairly superficial, really, possibly cultural. The Chinese will do things in a certain way with a certain set of values. The Okinawans are, in a sense, much more simple people, direct people, and because of that simplicity, and I don't mean that in a negative way. They will go straight into the movements. The Chinese have an expression, painting legs on the snake, which means unnecessary movements and so forth. And I suspect, if you like, the Okinawans they're even more like that. They'll strip away unnecessary things.
And Harry, it's just been brought to our attention that these masters that we see in front of us have got a combined age of over 250 years old.
Yes. Well, this is the thing. It's an interesting concept of what does old mean. You know, people talk about, oh, you know, I'm 50, I'm 55, I can't do this. Well, certainly Higo Sensei, I know he's about 69, 70. Gushi's, I think, is about the same. The Chinese guy in the end, I suspect, is about the same.
He's 65, I was
65,
told, yes.
So, you know, he's within that boundary, as it were. If they can do it, and they have been doing it all their lives, it's a lifelong discipline. And because of that, you can see the benefits of the training. They move like young men.
And it's great to see an audience appreciate this so much as well.
I think karate in the West, possibly we've gone through a set of stages where there was initially a very naive kind of adolescent hero worship of anything. That was fairly sensibly thrown away, replaced by competition, tournament stuff, and it produced heroes. And again, heroes are okay, but you know, everybody has feet of clay to some degree, and people got a bit cynical about that. And in a way, that's done us a lot of good because it's thrown us back. It's thrown us back on the older ideas. And when you've got people like this, and you've got people with this level of skill and commitment, and also the most important thing, actually, I've noticed, is the simple pleasure they have, the simple joy they take in the training. You know, and that's the important thing. There's an important word in Japanese, makoto, which means sincerity. And Alan Watts, who's one of my favourite writers, he said people confuse sincerity with being serious. And actually, just the simple pleasure of doing something, the joy of what you do, comes through with these men. People ask me why I train, and it's for the same thing, because I like it at the end of the day. That's the real reason.
And what are they doing here now, Harry?
Okay, well, Higo Sensei, I think, is doing Sanchin, or yep, I think they're doing it again. They're doing Sanchin again, performing Sanchin again.
But this time they're doing it all together, because last time we saw them one at a time.
One by one, yeah.
But this time all four men doing it together. And yes, this is a really remarkable achievement to see this today under one roof.
Absolutely. What is interesting as well, if you watch the Chinese form, you see the step back. Now, in Goju-ryu, the version of Sanchin Higo Sensei is doing now is called Miyagi Sanchin, because they step back. The original version of Goju in the Goju form resembles the Uechi one. You step forward, you turn, you step forward, you turn, then you step again. So again, you've got a kind of overlap with a slightly older form in the Goju version. Now, they always say Miyagi put the stepping back version to teach people to move backwards. But you see, the Chinese already had this.
Yes.
So I suspect actually it's more of an imitation of a Chinese form. It's like the kata tensho, which they always say Miyagi created. He probably did. But there is a Chinese form in White Crane which is very like Tensho, so he's based it on a White Crane form, I suspect. Interesting as well, one thing I have noticed, I trained with Higon Sensei in Japan in 1977 for about 2.5 years, and the kata seems to have got a little slower. He's really slowing it down, not because of age, I don't think.
Well, that was going to be my question, Harry. Is it just a natural thing as you age, or is there a deeper purpose?
I suspect what he's trying to do is he's trying to hold people's attention on the movements, a little like Tai Chi. The way the Tai Chi people do the movement slowly, so you concentrate on the feeling.
But we've witnessed something special here today.
Oh, absolutely.
4 masters. Harry, it's been a pleasure working with you, and thank you for that.
Hi, my name's Tiki Donovan, OBE. I'm the national coach or national squad director. I'm here today to see some old friends. It's 50 years anniversary for karate in England. As a competitor, I was a member of the first British team to win the World Championships in Los Angeles. And after that, as coaching, I took the team to 5 World Champions, the men, and the women to 3. The difference between competition now, modern competition, is I must say, is a lot faster. People must be much fitter. They must be more an athlete. To beat the Japanese in 1975 was absolutely brilliant. You know, we beat them in the final. It was one of the best times in my life. And then after that, coaching the team, we beat the Japanese on 3 or 4 occasions, and you know, that was as good.
All right, so here we go. It's England versus the Netherlands on this, the 50th anniversary of English Karate, the Budosai Martial Arts Festival, as promoted and sponsored by Cyber Budo. I'm Malcolm Martin of Fighters Inc., and with me, the man behind many a Fighters Inc. experience and a former England international himself, Mr. Joe Long. Joe, perfect way to finish the day.
Yeah, lovely way to finish the day, Malcolm. Starting off here. René Smell in red for Holland.
And James Steadman in the blue for England. And Small we know very well through Fighters Inc., don't we, Joe?
Yep. René fought last year in the 10K Karate Clash, and he also fought at the Seni show at Masters of the Mat. And he's probably the most notorious up-and-coming fighter for Holland right now.
Yes, very exciting, and he put on a good show, as you said, at the Seni show. England versus Holland, then a 3-man tournament. This one 10. Steadman trying to take it to him, though, Joe.
Yeah, he's tried to take it there, and he's gained 2 points back there, so 2-1 up to England right now.
Looked like Small got in clean there, Joe.
Yeah, René keeping his guard down very low and went underneath. Taking the 1 point. 2-2 now, Malcolm. Lovely. Pushed away there by René, followed by a roundhouse to the back. Taking another 2 points.
So it's 4-2 now to the Netherlands. René coming from behind. And he's growing in confidence right through this straight away, isn't he, Joe?
Yeah, definitely, Malcolm. I mean, René's a very confident fighter anyway. And, you know, he's one of them fighters which within the first few seconds of the fight, you know, he's got his feet and he knows where he is. There you go again, reverse punch underneath.
He's on the button now. What can James do, Joe?
I think James should, you know, James shouldn't rush in, you know, he needs to take his time, you know, pull him, then go. And I'm sure that's what Tiki Donovan, the England coach, will be telling him.
Yes, Tiki making his notes there. It's 5-2 now to René Small. And you can see the confidence on his face there.
Yeah, great over-the-top punch there by James. Catching René off balance and go over the top and taking 2 points. So it's 5-4 now, closing the gap.
That was the timing you were talking about as well, wasn't it, Joe? Not rushing in.
Indeed, he didn't rush in. He took his time, picked his point and got the 2 points reward for it.
Yeah, so it's 5-4. Very close now. And René straight back in.
René straight back in, beating James to the punch there. Even though James went underneath with the Gakazuki to the body, It was just a tad too late.
Just checking for control there, but I don't think there's going to be a problem, is there, Joe? This point, this going to be awarded. I was going to say, he is getting a warning for the level of contact there.
That one surprised me, Malcolm, that warning there.
Yeah, I thought it was a clean point, Joe, but as I said, we're just here to commentate. The judges are there to judge.
Indeedy, and as we say that, James nicks another one back, 5-all. So we've got 46 seconds on the clock, and things will start to heat up right now.
Well, it couldn't be better balanced, Joe. The first match, 5-all, England versus Netherlands.
As we can see now, Malcolm, James just starting to feel his feet, and get into what he needs to do.
Yes, it's not so much that he's taken the sting out of Rene. He's found his own feet, as you said, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. You don't need to rush.
But there's 30 seconds left. It's now 6-5 at the moment to Rene Small.
And Rene just got that a bit more experience, Malcolm. But James is putting up a good show here right now.
Yes, at first it looked like he might be steamrollered, but as you said, he composed himself. He stopped running in and started picking up the points.
There seems to be a bit of confusion here with the referees.
I think it's over that level of contact again. And Laurent there, a good friend of yours, Joe, he's questioning that.
Yeah, I think what they're questioning is whether it's a Category A or Category 2 warning. No score said by the referee.
So it's still 6-5 and we're in the last 30 seconds now.
Great movement there from Rene.
That's that experience telling, as you said, Joe.
Yep, indeed. James looks like he caught him there. No score called again by the referee. Rene straight off the line there with a back kick, very sharp, but just went past the body.
Yes, and we're into the last 10 seconds now, and it looks like Rene's going to hold on here after a bright start.
That's right, James has got to go if he wants it.
Was that there?
I actually thought Rene hit with that first.
It looks like they're going to agree with you, Joe, which will make it 7-5 right at the death. Yes, Tiki wasn't so happy with that, but as you said, you had no problem with that one, did you?
No, not at all. I mean, the timing from Rene was spot on. 7-5. I mean, that's a good, a good first fight for James, to be fair.
Yes, Rene, as you said, a competent performer. And next up, we have Rafael Veras for England and Jawad Ikan for the Netherlands, with the Netherlands 1 up.
We're going back to Rafael now. Rafael has slightly more experience than James. Not necessarily on an international level, more on a domestic level with his club, which is Ishinru.
But that's a good point you've made, Joe. This is giving these guys really good international experience against a solid Dutch team. Most definitely. And I think that's what today is about, a celebration of karate and also looking forward to the future. And a familiar pattern, it's Jawad that gets the first points on the board. Sure, he looks more of a composed fighter. Rafael's very, very, he buzzes around you, And scooped up there by Jawad. Yep, great takedown. But obviously couldn't pull off enough to finish with a point. But it made the point for you about the differences between the two, didn't it? Just as you said. He came across. Definitely. I mean, Rafael's very, very lateral. A lot of foot and body movement with Rafael. And you probably have to work the tension out of him, as you said. If he hasn't got much international experience, the tension will be there as well, won't it? Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not. It's always hard when it's a team match. In this sort of environment. It's very tense. Very tense. Obviously, you want to perform and show what you can do for your coach. So it's tense all round right now. But things are will start to loosen up, as we go through the pecking order. But having said that, as you said, Jawad, just that bit much more composure than Rafael at the moment. Yeah, most definitely. And he's 3-0 up, Joe, just with over a minute to go now.
reverse punch there by Rafael. I think it went past, but all three judges are giving it. And as you said, Malcolm, they're the ones that count. So he picks up a point along the way.
3-1, 56 seconds on the clock. And in front of us, Joe, Tiki living every point.
Yeah, as he always does. You know, that's what he does, and that's what Tiki's renowned for. Rafael picking up another point now. A reverse punch to the face. Jodan Zuki. So he's closing the gap, 3-2 now.
That's right, with 42 seconds left, he's making a fight of this again. As in the first match we saw. Not easy for either man.
So Rafael pulling it back there, so 3-3 now, Malcolm.
With 30 seconds on the clock, this is so tight at the moment.
There you go again, and it looks like Rafael beat him to the punch.
And you can see the confidence growing there, Joe. He's believing in himself now.
He's believing in himself, and the crowd's also getting behind him.
And you're right, he got the point. 4-3 up with 20 seconds left.
If he just holds this now and hits with that gack as soon as the opponent moves.
Is it time for that composure you mentioned now?
Indeedy. I mean, I think Tiki will be telling him to hold it, don't do nothing stupid.
6 seconds left.
Which unfortunately he just done, you know.
That's the human element, Joe, and as you said that, it's 4-4.
That's right.
Which is a real shame for the lad, because as you said, he came back well.
Great finish to the fight there, Malcolm. So that's a draw. So it's 1-0 to Holland and 1 draw.
Yes, impressed with Rafael there, coming back.
Yeah, indeedy.
So next up, we have a man on our side that needs no introduction. Alton Brown versus Vincent Vasseur.
That's correct, and Alton's come straight off the mark there. He's not messing around. He's gained 1 point straight away within the first 3 seconds of the fight.
He's a pressure fighter, isn't he, Joe?
Yep, definitely, and he's stamping his authority on the fight. You know, and this performance by Alton right now is going to lift the England team.
Well, it's lifted the supporters. You can hear that straight away. Already 4 up. Joe, he's smoking. Alton is smoking.
He's smoking. He's took the front guard down and come up with reverse roundhouse. It wasn't that clean. Nevertheless, he got the 3 points. He's 7-0 up right now, and only 20 seconds have gone.
And another point to come. What will this do for his teammates, Joe?
You know, that win, you know, that is a great win by Alton. 8-0, 20 seconds, you know, that's got to spur on the rest of his team.
Well, let's see if it spurs on Paul Abel as he fights Brown Van Karen.
Indeed, so we're level pegging now, Malcolm. 1 apiece and a draw.
That's right, it couldn't be tighter, and it's been exciting as well, Joe.
Yeah, it has. You know, the Holland and the England matches are always a closely matched fight. You know, as shown in the 10K over the last few years, and also Masters of the Mat at Seni, it's always a close one.
And when you look over at the two coaches, Laurent rarely gives anything away, does he?
No, especially not money.
So at the moment, it's Brown Van Karen that's 1-0 up. Close there for Paul Abel, but I don't think it's going to score. And two relatively young men here, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. Paul's sort of been floating around the circuit for the last few years and hasn't really stamped his authority on the squad. But I think the last year or so he started to come of age, you know, so.
And these are the sort of moments to impress the watching coach, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's, you know, it's a nice environment for Paul to be competing in. He's like one of them fringe fighters which is just starting to break through, you know, and this is the sort of match which is good for him to, you know, to get that experience under his belt.
Yes, and as you say that, he brings things level. We're under a minute left. These bouts have been flying, especially Alton Brown, who destroyed his opponent there to give England a big lift. But it is still delicately balanced here, and especially in this one, 42 seconds on the clock, still 1 apiece.
Paul went to hit underneath there with the reverse punch to the body. It looked blocked to myself.
Joe, having been in this position, how aware are they of that clock?
Very aware. You know, Paul's an experienced fighter, you know, on a domestic level and a club level, so it's not like Paul doesn't fight, he's competing all the time. You know, he's trying to improve all the time and win his place on the international squad, on the national squad, should I say. So, you know, he's well aware that clock's there.
And he'll be aware now he's 2-1 up with 19 seconds left, but we saw with Rafael, now's the time just to be cagey, isn't it, and sit on that.
Yeah, he can sit on that. I mean, Paul...
He's 3-1 up, Joe.
Paul's gone 3-1 up. And he's a sneaky fighter as well, Paul. He'll nick points, you know. And that's what he's doing right now. He's just holding his composure. I mean, the 3-on-3 last year, he fought Jason Legister. And, you know, the same thing. He nicked his points, you know, very, very crafty, nicked his points and then just sat on it. Yes. And it can be very frustrating to an opponent, you know, with that sort of style.
Well, with 4 seconds left on the clock, as they check on Paul, he's 3-1 up. And that would give England another victory, which would take us comfortably ahead. A bit of daylight. And there you go, Joe. He kept his composure. 3-1 to England.
Another England win, so that just puts us...
2 up. It's 1 to Holland, 1 draw, and 2 to England. So there's daylight between them now, Joe. Next up, Akan Eka, who we've seen before, against Nicky Lefebvre.
Yep, Akan actually fought in the England v Holland match at Masters of the Mat at the Senni show at London's Excel earlier on in this year.
And a good account of himself as well.
He fought very, very well, and he earned his place into the 10K Karate Clash, which takes place in 2008. And he's an up-and-coming, hungry fighter.
Yes, well, the pressure's on Nicky Lefebvre now to bring that back for Holland. And really, we can trace this confidence boost back through to Alton Brown, can't we?
Indeed, Alton seemed to have lifted the squad. You know, as I said, you know, when it's like when Wayne Otto, the days of Wayne Otto, when Wayne would go out and and blitz somebody, it just lifted the rest of the team.
But also, when you look at the team, he is one of the big names, the senior member. He led by example, didn't he?
Yeah, right now we've got a very, very young squad out today, and Alton indeed is the most senior member of the squad today, which says a lot because he's actually not that old.
No. But we're talking experience terms, aren't we?
Most definitely.
Well, Nicky Lefebvre is 1 point up with a minute to go. The clock's ticking. Holland still ahead, which would bring them back into this.
That's right. Not much going on in this one, Malcolm. Akan isn't afraid to go forward, as we just see there, and he nicks a point.
But it has been the cagiest match so far. The others have been very fast-paced, but these two have had a good look at each other, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely.
So Nicky Lefebvre, Akan Eka, they're coming down. You'll hear the 30-second buzzer soon.
Yeah, Nicky seems to be setting the pace, but he gets caught again there over the top by Akan to take another point, hopefully, and he does. So that's 2-1 up to England. And the referee's called it wrong.
Yes, he didn't realise the 30 seconds was still left.
30 seconds still left.
There's a lot can happen in 30 seconds, as you know, but I think Akan underneath there, but Laurent saying that Nicky came over the top. They've got to score it one way.
That's right. I think Laurent's noise helped him there.
Yes, it's 2-2 with 18 seconds left.
I actually thought that went to Akan underneath.
Yes, I felt that scored first, and then Laurent over the top. Nicky over the top, but two judges gave it to Nicky.
Nice movement there from Akan. He pulled in, pulled out, and then went over the top.
That could have won it, but it's not now. That's it. It's another draw.
Another draw, and as we was talking about, Malcolm, always a close encounter.
That's right. It was a very, very cagey one, this one. Next up, a man I know that you've been following, been a lot with Fighters Inc., Jay Gorsey.
Yeah, Jay's is probably, I would say, a year or so in front of Paul Abel. as far as where he is now. I would expect that Paul Abel will be where Jay is now in a year and a half time, sort of thing. Jay's been a fringe player, and the last year or two, he's started to come into his own.
Comes into his own on the 3-on-3s.
Comes into his own on the 3-on-3s. He earned a lot of respect on the 10k eliminator, which put him through to the actual event. And he's a very active member and training partner of Alton Brown for the Torquay Association.
And in this match, though, he's against Rivienne Mathilde, who's just gone 1-0 up.
Yeah, he's got a lot of reach and quite an awkward character, to be fair, Malcolm. He's got an awkward style of fighting, but I believe Jay will break him down.
Yes, growing in confidence, as you said, over the years. And through some of the Big Fighters Inc. events, Joe, it's nice to watch these people grow, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jay's one of them fighters, and there's never a lack of action with Jay. He'll fight the biggest heavyweight, and he'll go toe to toe. He'll keep speed with the lightweights. Saying that, he's got hit with a lovely kick there.
He's up against it now, Joe. Oh, just over a minute, and he's 4 down.
Indeed. And
you mentioned that Rivienne was leggy, and he proved it there, didn't he?
He comes back and he goes around the back with Mwashigeri to the back.
And you had a little smile there at Laurent.
I laughed. Laurent was trying to say that it hit the leg, which no way did it.
But that's good coaching, Joe.
Clearly hit round the back. 5-3 now to Holland. And Jay's got this thing, Malcolm, which I'm sure Tiki tells him, where he keeps his guard very low.
Yes, well, he's been punished. It's 6-3 now.
Yeah.
But having said that, possibly the most exciting match so far.
Yeah, Jay, as I say, Jay's never afraid to mix it, and that's what's happening right now.
Well, he's going to mix it a lot more yet, because this rangy Dutch fighter is 6-3 up and pushing things as well. And I mean, to be fair to Rivienne, he is putting Jay under pressure, isn't he?
He is, and Rivienne is coming forward. He's coming forward a lot. He's the most attacking fighter which we've seen from the Dutch team today.
And he's benefiting for it. 7-5 now with 30 seconds left. Jay's got to go for it.
Jay's not quite getting his distance out there. He's usually very good with his kicks, but he's falling short at the moment.
Yes, we're under the last 30 seconds now. And Rivienne looks in control here. And we're in the last 14 seconds. Jay's got to pull something out here, Joe.
Yeah, I think he's looking a little bit tired. He's just caught a warning for too much contact. Usually at this point in the match, Jay will pull a point out, a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer out the bag, but he looks like he's struggling with.
It's 8-5, Joe. 9 seconds left.
He looks like he's struggling with his stamina.
And the pad comes off there. Yes, as you said, that he's breathing very heavily. But I've noticed one thing with Jay over the years. When you look at him, he always looks distressed, whether he's winning or losing. There's always a look of concern on his face.
There is indeed. Oh, he hit with a reverse punch.
I thought underneath there from Jay.
He hit underneath and he done the sweep as well. As I said, he's one of these characters which will always pull something out the bag. I think he's hit with a reverse punch
8-6, but it's not going to be enough. And the Dutch pull it back again, Joe.
I think Jay will be disappointed with that loss, Malcolm. Jay Goulsey on the form would have had that one in the bag.
That's right. But as we talk about form, Moreno Shepherd, another good Dutch fighter that we know well, Joe. Tough call here for Lauren Cook.
We've got Sonny Roberts against Moreno, and Sonny, the up-and-coming heavyweight for England.
And again, Moreno visited these shores for us many times, Joe.
Yeah, Moreno was here this year at the Senni show on Masters of the Mat, and had a great bout and earned some fans over here. And he's on form right now, and as we see, he's not shy to go forward and mix it with the heavyweights.
Yes, and he goes one up against Sonny.
Moreno actually had a great fight with Akan at Masters of the Mat this year at the Seni show. And
That's right, Joe. Real crowd pleaser, wasn't he?
real crowd pleaser, and wasn't afraid to go. What he's doing now, he's doing the same. He waits, and then he'll just go, and then you think you've got him summed up, and then he'll pull and go. So
That said, Sonny got the point there, which made Laurent smile, and I don't think it was a happy smile. So we're just on the minute now, and it's 2-1, very close again. But you just get the feeling Sonny's trying to take it to Moreno now.
Yeah. Good lateral movement there from Sonny, breaking off from the corner and now holding centre of the mat. Sonny's a very aggressive fighter, but, as we can see, Moreno's got his respect and he's cautious not to rush in, as he should be.
Yes, we're coming down to the last 30 seconds. It's 2-1. And really, we need to bring this one back up.
As we see that reverse punch against from Moreno. He's very rangy, Malcolm, and he gains a lot of distance with that reverse punch.
Well, the other thing as well, his timing was good. It's 3-2 now, with the clock really ticking down. But Sonny looked like he possibly scored there, Joe.
Yeah, I would have given that to him all day long, Malcolm. But as you say, we're not in control. We're not the referee.
It looked clean. It looked controlled, Joe. I feel sorry for him. It's not been given, and it's still 3-2 to Moreno.
So as we can see, Sonny's putting on the pressure, but he's not letting nothing go. He did there in the corner, and he's going to be rewarded for it. So it's 3-3.
3-3 with 7 seconds left. Good timing by Sonny. Kept his nerve. Maybe Moreno just underneath there, Joe, at the death. It's not been given.
And we could be looking another draw, and we are, Malcolm.
We are, Joey. It's very, very close here. Both men had moments there where they probably felt robbed of points.
Most definitely, and that's the way it goes with karate. It can be you, it can be the other opponent.
Right, Joe, so it's all level at this stage, and we bring on the ladies. For England, Lauren Cook, and for Holland, Esther van Scree.
That's right, Esther comes straight out, reverse punch to the body for 1 point, Malcolm, so she's 1 point up straight away there.
Yes, Holland set out their stall here. As we said, everything all even as the girls come in. And again, Esther with that kick, Joe.
Yeah, lovely roundhouse kick to the head. It sort of went up and come over and got the 3 points. So 4-0 up to Holland right now.
Very early as well. What will that do to Lauren? Because she's almost been mugged here.
Indeed, I mean, it's to come out and be 4-0 down within a short amount of time, doesn't help the confidence. And obviously it's going to spur on Esther, in her quest to take the fight away.
Lauren here trying to bring it back. And again, Joe, it's Esther again.
Esther again. Good reverse punch there by Lauren. She meets Esther with the punch. Unfortunately, they score Esther first. And that's an early win for Esther there.
You're right, Joe, very, very quick. It means Holland see a bit of daylight. They go on ahead. But she certainly didn't waste any time. And now we have Laura Adams against Lydia Marcellin. And Joe, she's got a lot of work to do to bring this back.
Yep. Lauren coming straight off the line and looking sharp, as Esther did in the last fight. So 2-0 up to England straight away.
That's right, Lauren Adams got to bring it back here.
She goes for the sweep there, but it doesn't it doesn't go anywhere there on Lydia.
But psychologically, Joe, for both girls, there must be different emotions coursing through them. Lauren knows that we took a pasting in that last one, and Lydia knows that Holland are one ahead now, so both girls will have a lot on their minds, won't they?
Definitely. I mean, it puts the pressure. He's put the pressure on Lauren Adams to come out and bring it back for England. Lydia scoring now. 2 points and goes over the top there. Great over the top there from Lydia.
Yes, as
Reverse
Lauren did
punch.
the kick, Joe. But
Yeah, she's opening herself up a little bit, Malcolm, when Lauren threw the sweep and she threw the kick. She's throwing it square on, which is leaving her body square on and open rather than kicking off the line.
But she's pulled some back here now, Joe.
Yeah, she seems very determined. She knows she's got a point to prove here. Again, she's trying to throw that kick, from a square position. If you're throwing a kick around the back, ideally your toes should be in line, so your body doesn't come square onto a reverse punch to the body or the face.
Because one thing I've noticed, Joe, these Dutch girls are very aggressive and very confident.
Indeed, Malcolm. The European fighters in general, Holland, France, Spain, they're not afraid to go forward. Not afraid to go forward. But saying that, nor are the English girls.
And I think they're looking at Lauren there because, as I said, the contact from Lydia has been quite strong throughout this bout.
Yes. As you said, Malcolm, with the ladies, like first of all, they're not afraid to go forward. Where with some of the men's, it's a bit more, you go and I go. The women tend to clash more, and they both go for it at the same time.
Just like there, Joe, but each time at the moment it seems that at first it's going one way, Lydia, and then Lauren back. But as you said, both at the same time. Yeah,
great point there by Lauren. And it seems to be that Lauren's now going to the body, where Lydia's going over the top to the face. So it's, who's first to score right now with these two.
Little hint though that those punches over the top from Lydia are just beginning to annoy Lauren and upset her rhythm.
And as we say that, Malcolm, they both go the other way. Lydia goes to the body and Lauren goes over the top. And you'd also be coached within this situation. For example, if Lydia's been warned for, contact to the face, her coach is going to prefer her to go to the body.
And as you said that, she went to the face again, Joe, and Lauren blinking heavily there, and she's looking over towards the referees to say something here. But I mean, this whole bout's been very split second, hasn't it? They've been very evenly matched and very similar style.
Yeah, very much so, Malcolm.
And another warning for Lydia there.
See, Lydia, Laurent, I would imagine, he's saying, go to the body, but she's still punching to the face.
I was going to say she's not listening, Joe, but the thing is, if she went to the body, earlier in the bout, she was beating Lauren to the punch.
That's right.
And there you go, you heard from the cheers, Joe. Lauren has brought it back from a difficult position, which leaves it perfectly balanced with one fight left in this first round.
That was a very good win for Lauren and a very gutsy performance, I thought, Malcolm.